Who's a good boy? Yeah, you love your rice and chicken, don't you? Yeah, you almost all of it, bro. Oh, look at you. You almost ate all your food. Is there any chicken left in there, bro? You skipped the rice and the kibble and went for all the chicken. Oh, what a goofy boy. What a goofy little boy. Fucking hair, bro. Goddamn. Check that out. Cool. Husky time, baby. Husky time, baby. Yep. Stray. Oh yeah, with the little kitty. That pretty much like everyone's been taken by storm with, apparently. Like, I've heard a lot about that game within, like, the past, well, since it pretty much just came out, like a week or two ago or something. The game hasn't been out that long. I've seen a trailer for it. It looks fun. Wait, what the hell is this? Mega guy cries in a cage. Okay, I'm definitely gonna see that in a second. What? A MAGA guy crying in a cage. Okay. Hey. Also, I kind of woke up a little, it's like another little flustered, like, morning of just like, for some reason. Not even really necessarily a good one. Well, kind of-ish. It's like my friend is, when my friend got off work, because he does night shifts and shit out at his place, so he's, like, it's off at, like, what, fucking 6 or 7. And, they were having, like, a big old, little group chat thing trying to plan up for Sunday, and I don't know what the fuck is going on with my other my other friend. Like, he's straight up just, like, I don't even know. Like, it's so vague and just weird. It's like, because we were all initially planning, oh, we'll all probably either try to leave or be at the beach by like 11 or something. Yeah, because it does take that long to get there. And he's just like, bruh, what the fuck? I wanted to, like, you know, already have been there by like 11. I want to, like, leave for a hike when we get there, bruh. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's like, wait, what? It's like, the fuck you plan on getting there then, bro? And then he finally, like, halfway through talking back and forth with my other buddy, finally set a time and said, like, 5 in the fucking morning. I'm like, fuck you, bro. Ain't no way in hell I'm waking up right then and there. I'm waking up no goddamn 5 in the fucking morning just to, like, you know, Just like, you know, hit a, like a, you know, the right spot hike, you know, or some shit. It's like, come on, bro. Like, we, like, and also at some point it's just like, oh, if you want to like sleep a little more for your work and stuff, talking to my other friend, it's like, you know, we can just leave and then you can just meet us there. And I'm just like, no, I'm sitting here and just reading this, like, no. You should go to bed by 5 in the morning. Well, fuck you. I'm like, that's not even true, but like, come on. I mean, not really, but like, okay, dick. But I mean, it's just like, bruh. And then then he wants to like split like the two like groups up a little bit because they're all taking different vehicles, and it's just like another bruh. It's like I'm the dude who pretty much has bought all the food for everybody. Essentially, everyone else just needs to bring like drinks, beer, and like, you know, other shit basically. Like that's essentially it. Like I pretty much have food covered, so unless I'm a part of like that first group that shows up, everybody's fucked. So it's just, you know, when it comes to food wise when they get there. So that ain't gonna work. And besides, my friend is the one who, my other friend who would have to be showing up later, has the grill, like the little portable, like, you know, grill and shit. So even if that was the case, we still wouldn't be able to really make anything. So it's just like not exactly planning this out at all. Like me and my other buddy, we kind of have it so far so good, but then it's just like because our friend pretty much desperately wants to hike on the way up there, and you know, and just and pretty much just like wants to go on like, you know, I think Kings Mountain or some shit, and it's just like, dude, bro, what are you trying to ask? It's like if we were doing like a multiple night trip camping, I would probably say sure, but it's just like, one, Kings is like a 4+ some give or take hour hike, you know, like entirely, like from to top and bottom. So it's just like, if we want to leave so fucking early, it's just like by the time, even if that was the case that we did that, we would show up at our destination to where we want to be at like fucking 2, which is not the time you want to be there, right? So it's just like, it just doesn't work. I don't think my other buddy was exactly thinking this out exactly. And also we got to bring our puppos too, which that could be you know, like an interesting situation. I mean, especially with all the vehicles and everybody. You know, should make them forage for food. Yeah, next time, yeah, we're just gonna like grab seeds and we're just gonna start planting, you know, some berries and some crops and shit. We'll just like forage and like live like nomadic hunter-gatherers and have like, you know, a few spots, like little patches of like, you know, crop that we, you know, set up in our little region. It's just like nomadically travel from spot to spot collecting food. Oh, buddy. Hey, buddy. But yeah, it's just like, I don't get my buddy sometimes. I mean, I didn't even like read every single little bit either. I just knew that there was some random shit in here. I'm just like, what in the actual fuck? Okay, so it literally starts with what time is everyone thinking for the Sunday morning. And basically, like, essentially it's like a fuck you, like, this next immediate thing, which I didn't even read this part, but it's like, well, I'm gonna leave early, and if people aren't ready then they can just drive themselves. It's like, go fuck yourself, dude. It's like, you know, one, early doesn't help. Like, oh, leave early if no one's ready. What the fuck is early? Like 4:20 in the morning? Like 5:18 in the morning, bro? Like, seriously, dude? Like, low-key, like, I mean, my friend is really kind of like, you know, my way or highway type of shit sometimes. Like, he really is. It's just like, oh, I want to do things this hyper early. It's like, no one's on your fucking, like, bio clock, bro. Like, no one wakes, you know, outside of, you know, some people, not a lot of people wake up super fucking early. By 4 in the morning. I can't fuck you. I'm not going to bed by like 2 at latest 3. Like, I'm in a deep sleep and like REM sleep by the time it's like 5, okay? So, yeah. Like, again, fuck you, dick. he hasn't even fallen asleep by 4 in the morning. You know, I tell you what, by the time it's 6 in the morning, that's when he's finally going into a dreaming stupor. It's like, you dick. I'm not that fucking bad about it. Honestly, the last time I was straight up, like, you know, awake until like 5 in the morning was that last stream when I was drinking like 4 some hours. You know, it's just like, and I had like 4 some beers or some shit like that. You know, that stream, like, that was pretty much the last time I stayed up that fucking late. And I regretted it immensely the day after. So yeah, that's why I don't usually do that anymore. Oh my god, so I was right. I was able to get there at the coast before noon and hit a hike on the way there. Oh, it's like, that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. You can't go to the coast and do a hike before going there and go to the coast before noon. Like, I don't think that's how that works. Unless you wanted to leave at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and do like a hella early like sunrise hike or some shit. Like, start a hike at night. By the time you get to the top, sun's rising or some shit. I can't do hours like I used to as a teen. I can't even fucking do them like I used to. And I'm barely like 20, I'm about to be 25, so it's just like shit. I can do them every now and then. We'll be in the middle of the stream at 3 a.m. That's like, that's when I'm like cutting my shit off, bro. Like, usually when I see that like 3 a.m. mark, that's usually I'm like, it's around the time I should wrap it up. Do I go over that? Yes. But, you know, it's just like, I usually let that be my indicator. You stream a lot, bro? Yes, I do. Especially on days off and when I have a little weekend. Bullshit, so you need to go to 6 here. Yeah, how long has it been since I've gone till 6 o'clock in the morning? Like that, the one stream I mentioned from like like 4 days ago? 5 days ago, that one? And when's the last time before that one? Like, oh my god. My homeboy's just like, it will only be a 24-hour trip if we show up at the beach at 3. It's like, what in the hell? It's like, not exactly. We can spend as much time as we want the day, like the next day, and we can leave whenever we want. It's like, what? It's like, sometimes trying to like plan things with friends can be a little frustrating. Check my new tune. Oh, not yet, actually. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Well, especially for our little camping trip. Oh, yeah, there is. I got, like, some burger patties, sausage patties, like, little breakfast sausages. Got, like, some bagels. Got some strawberry rhubarb and peach jam. I pretty much, like, set us up. I kind of set us up with a lot of camping foods. And these like, little one-meal MREs. Which actually look pretty good. I mean, I've shown them a couple times already, but these little suckers, honestly, don't look too bad. Figure I'd give these a shot. Manufactured by Oregon Freeze Dry. Mountain House is a division of Oregon Freeze Dry, Albany, Oregon. Oh, so, a little local. It's actually a little local brand. Oh my goodness. My stepdad just discovered Lord of the Rings and he's obsessed. He just discovered it? I have to play. I just want to know if you had any thoughts. Yeah, I haven't played it or listened to it yet. So, at least right now I don't, but... But here, I can pull it up here in a little bit. That's, yeah, I read that part. I mean, it's just like, how's he just discovered Lord of the Rings, dude? Like, it's been, like, it was like a book for, like, the longest time. It became like a movie, like, what? Early 2000s? And shit? It's like, bruh, how in the hell do you, like, how do you just miss that? Like, what in the fuck, man? I mean, I'm not, like, super obsessed with Lord of the Rings myself, but I do, you know, love a lot of the fantasy and the lore of it. And Super Christian usually thinks this kind of stuff is satanic. See what happens when, you know, like, religion oppresses people. They get turned away into fucking, you know, good shit. They're turned away from it and be like, no, it's satanic. Even though it's actually awesome. And not even remotely close to satanic at all. Slowly introduce them to good movies now. Slowly but surely, I suppose. I mean, honestly, it's pretty much the same thing of how, like, you know, I probably haven't seen Harry Potter. It's just because at least my mom grew up, pretty much maybe grew up thinking that that was that type of shit, even though, like, for me, at least immediately growing up, I knew that was some bullshit. Because, at least with Harry Potter, like, I remember when, you know, it was, like, the few times I have seen, like, snippets and shit like that, and I tell my mom about it, she'd be like, that's witchcraft, you shouldn't be watching that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, literally how? There's nothing wrong with it, like, I've seen it, and there's literally nothing wrong with it. She's like, they're slowly, subliminally telling you things, eh. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's like, oh my god. You just butthurt because some actual fantasy that's cool is overriding your fantasy, which is lame. So, yeah. And also, the cool fantasy at least recognizes that it's fucking fantasy anyway. And fictional. So. Harry Potter is literal status quo propaganda, in my opinion. I mean, I don't even know what's all about it. Like, to this day, I still haven't watched, like, a full film of the Harry Potter series. Or the entire franchise, so. I couldn't tell you. Like, I couldn't tell you what, like, themes, you know, commentary or anything. I know there is at least one part of it, mainly, like, in the, like, the first movie or two, or, like, the first book, where, like, the kids, you know, when they're obviously being teenagers, or kind of, you know, being promiscuous, or, like, you know, being, well, not even, like, sexually promiscuous, it's just promiscuous with, like, ooh, you know, it's like, there's this, I forgot what it was called, but they have, like, the equivalent of weed, you know, like, pretty much, like, wizard weed, and, like, these kids are, like, you know, in this little room and shit where they find it, and they're like, ooh. But honestly, it's all about libs versus fascists. I mean, honestly, like, a lot of these different fantasy, like, films or, like, franchises tend to be like that in a lot of cases. I mean, like, Lord of the Rings probably not really as much. I mean, honestly, it's a lot more deeper and nuanced with that shit, but, like, a lot of fantasy tends to have a lot of that type of stuff. Like, hell, even, like, sci-fi to a degree. I mean, at least, you know, not entirely. I mean, it's a very common trope that tends to pop up pretty frequently. I mean, even when, like, the original series a little bit, like, the Federation is more seen as kind of, like, progressively liberal, while, like, you know, you got, like, you know, a war military society, which isn't really, like, inherently fascistic, I suppose, but, you know, like, the Klingons and shit, which are more closer to that than the Federation would be. So, kind of like a little example there. And then, like also, I mean, like Starship Troopers, even though it's more of just a strong, full-on critique of fascism just in itself, doing its medieval politics and sci-fi dressing when you break it down. Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, straight up, like, you got, like, your different houses who are a part of a bigger kingdom, or I guess an intergalactic empire and shit, so, yeah, I mean, pretty much is. Intergalactic feudalism. Oh, it sounds so fun. What is it guy just doing outside? He's hanging out? What you doing over there, buddy? What's up? Well, Jesus! You found a fly and you tried to go snapping at it. I don't know if he got it, though. Star Wars is libs versus fascist sci-fi. Yeah, that's another one. I think at least the original series of Star Trek and especially original Star Wars tend to have a lot of that. Way more in Star Wars than Star Trek, I would say, though. But nonetheless, I mean, a lot of the whole, like, liberal / like, kind of general catch-all progressivism, versus fascism has always been kind of a common trope, especially since, well, after World War II, pretty much. Where it's like you have, like, the liberal progressive democracy versus, I shouldn't necessarily even put progressive in there entirely, because depending on the lib versus fascist, like, movie or show or, story plot, it's not necessarily progressive. It could just be more of, like, a traditionalist, like, liberal conservative type of thing, but it's not, like, fascistically bad, or some shit. It's just like, yeah, we're free and stuff, but, it's like, you want to, like, dictate us and control us, so fuck you. We want to keep our original traditions and culture and religion. Fuck you, asshole. We want to be conservative, but not your conservative. It's just like, okay. Alright, buddy. I give you the original Godzilla as an anti-nuclear war movie when you break down. The themes are less so in the American version because we love our nukes. Well, of course. I mean, especially with, Japan and their history and, well, I mean, and their unfortunate, like, result of us dropping the nukes on them. Which, if you notice, today is actually the day we dropped the first one. August 6th was when we dropped it on, Hiroshima? And today is the 6th. Also, it's the day that the Voting Rights Act was passed, too. Or signed by LBJ, too. A lot of shit happened today. A nuke was dropped on 45. LBJ signed a Voting Rights Act today, too. A little bit later down the line. Some shit happened today in history. And of course, honestly, like, I was actually, the only reason why I know that today was actually the Voting Rights Act was codified by LBJ was because I actually saw now this community post about it, and kind of taking a little snippet of a speech. And honestly, it's just like, it's just weird having, like, a dude who is willing to sacrifice, not just even a voter base or, like, a block of their own party, but also, like, a lot of, political capital, basically, to essentially get this one thing done that, mainly at the time, a lot of Republicans and at least not non-Southern non-Dixiecrat Democrats who were legitimately more progressive or that were willing to work with, or progressive for the time. And essentially, like, at least in one part, it's mainly like the JFK wing of the party at the time that, was really kind of pressuring LBJ to, do a lot of this type of shit. On top of, people like MLK and civil rights movement, on top of, like all that shit going on. Japanese original, the cut of the original Godzilla's incredibly critical nuclear weapons. Nah, Godzilla himself represents the unstopped power of nukes. I mean, doesn't he still basically kind of represent that? I mean, he has this whole atomic breath, which that, outside of the equivalent thing, is pretty much unstoppable. So, I mean, pretty much. I'd still say he's pretty much that. Oh my good lord. Really, Posh? Eastern lefties suck at foreign policy. Taiwan recap. Oh my fucking god. Like, I honestly, part of me legit doesn't care enough about what the fuck, like, is going on with that. Because it's just, like, another element of just, like, tension escalation and shit like that. Where it's just like, oh, see? China's trying to go after Taiwan again. It's like they always have. Mainly because, like, I don't know, like, China and Taiwan both have, like, a very, very, touchy history, considering that, like, they're still technically both two separate oppositional parties of a civil war that they were fighting in a while back. So, I would imagine because of that, I don't know, maybe we probably just shouldn't fuck around with something like that. And also, it's just like, I know a lot of reason why China is very interested in Taiwan too is because a lot of semiconductors and microchips are produced in Taiwan. So, which that in itself is just like a little interesting, considering, with chip shortages and and fucking up processes and shit, it makes it a little bit it's just like, it's a little more harder to get a lot of these type of things, considering it's only pretty much made in really just like one country, or at least one territory and shit. It's just like that seems a little bit of a problem, considering that we have enough here at home to be able to make some domestically. I mean, China does too, but because Taiwan pretty much already has a bunch of them made up, and then they already have them, it's just kind of easier to work with them versus, just trying to invest and make them yourself. And of course, that's just another point of justification for China to just look at Taiwan to be like, hey, you're still part of us. You're still technically China, bitch. And also, like, I mean, the history of, like, Republic of China isn't exactly, like, great. Like, basically a bunch of fucking military warlords and regional dictatorial, like, warlord factions and shit that would even fight amongst each other, let alone, other, nations like in Japan at the time and stuff. It's like, they were fundamentally, like, just a corrupted, fucking broken, shitty fucking government. And And pretty much whatever fragments and whatever remnants of that was left fled to Taiwan, which already had, indigenous and other people living there. Essentially said, nah, this is ours now. So, I mean, all in all, I mean, especially at least historically, it's just like, it isn't exactly like, really, in the best interest to really be like, honestly, support one side or the other. Frankly, they kind of both suck. So it's just like, I mean, fuck both of them. I mean, the PRC isn't exactly, good, but the ROC ain't either. So it's like, boo, lame. Like, the only thing the PRC has going for is like its position on landlords. Like, this, it's like pretty much it. Beyond that, I really don't got much defense for it. But neither former military dictatorial fucking like, nation states either. That were like beyond corrupt to be, beyond just recognition and shit. It's like, yeah, okay. Which honestly, what I find funny and kind of weird is that the Germans actually helped Republic of China for a while. Because, at least during like the 30s, there's a lot of Chinese licensed German equipment, and that could be found. Such as like the C96 pistol, which there's a Chinese version of that, which was licensed by Germany during the 30s. Which is also during the time the Nazis were around, by the way. And they also licensed a lot of other rifles, like Kar 98s, and Graveriers and shit like that. Like, just, just a lot of different small arms and infantry equipment. So there was also, like, helmets, like the Stahlhelms and shit like that. So it's just like what I kind of find funny is that Germany was helping them, but also was allied with Japan. With the Axis powers later during World War II. And it's just like, the geopolitical bedfellows, man, it's just so weird. It's just like, yeah, let's help, China by giving them, like, small arms and equipment for their infantry and stuff. Oh, hey, our other allies invaded them. And let's help them, too. It's like, what? I mean, honestly, there's nothing really new about that. I mean, America's been doing that for a while. Embedding and aiding both parties of a fucking war. Just so they can get the maximum amount of benefit out of it. And the Nazis weren't the first to do it either. Like, I mean, that's been just a thing for a long time. Better to make both of your enemies weak by supporting both of them than to, try to go after both of them at once and have both of them team up against you. It's easier to do that. Or, free-for-all. Have, like, a one-on-one-on-one. Because, that also in itself wouldn't necessarily be advantageous. But letting the other two fight it out first before you come in and just kind of sit there and watch and make money off of it, well, yeah, obviously that's, a lot more of a better alternative. I mean, fuck, even I could see the, advantageous of that. She kind of tickled me. Human support video. Krishna fascist on why he'd never support moron Titan Green. She's a woman. Oh my god. Bruh. Dude. when you're so Christo-fascist that you don't even support the female Christo-fascist politicians that are like supporting your shit and literally pushing your shit. Bruh. When you're so Christo-fascist that you can't even support like the women leaders and shit of your movement. Wow. Oh boy. Oh boy.
You know, I find it absolutely fascinating that self-proclaimed Christian nationalists like Marjorie Taylor Greene go out of their way to prove how loyal they are to the American fascist movement. She'll even support bans on women's reproductive rights that could directly affect her one day, but still, there are some individuals within her movement that will never accept her. Why? Well, let's hear from Jonathan Shelley of Steadfast Baptist Church on why he, even though he agrees politically with Marjorie Taylor Greene, would never accept someone like her, would never vote for someone like her to be in a position of leadership.
Why are we letting women teach us? Why are we letting women lead us? You know, the Republican Party seems doomed to me because while we're kicking on the Democrats, let's kick on the Republicans for a minute. Most of their recent candidates are women. And I'm thinking like, okay, Joe Biden bad. A woman politician replacing him, not better. You know, you kind of, like, people are thinking like, I hope Joe Biden dies, and then it's like, Kamala.
I mean, that's like literally the only thing I agree from there. It's like, hey, what if Biden dies? And it's like, Kamala, you don't want that. It's just like, I mean, that's like the only thing I agree with. It's like, yeah, it's just like that sinister, just like, yeah, you really want Kamala Harris, bitch? I don't want her because she's a fucking corporate cop piece of shit. I literally couldn't care less that she's a woman. So, like, I literally couldn't care less. But she's a cop, and she's a fucking scumbag and a right-wing authoritarian shitbag, so she'd go fuck herself. So, yeah, I don't like her. I mean, but obviously, his reasoning is pretty much the exact opposite. Because she's a woman.
Pharaoh's like. This Pharaoh could be worse. But I'm telling you something. I would never vote for a woman politician. I will not support a woman politician. Oh, Taylor Greene or whatever. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a conservative. She's on InfoWars. She's a woman. She's not going to fix this country.
I mean, yeah, she won't fix the country, but not because she's a woman, but because she's literally a psycho bitch, bro. She's literally a psycho Christo-fascist freak like you. But apparently you're even more of a Christo-fascist psycho freak because, I mean, you don't even want her, you know, representing you.
I think that in Arizona, it's like Carrie Lake or something like that is running for governor. And she's like, she's going to stand strong. And it's like, no. She's a woman. I don't care that she has a short haircut. You know, it's sick how many men today let women just run our country because they're too cowardly to stand up to silly women. Men are too afraid to stand up to AOC.
Wait, what the fuck? Women are too cowardly to stand up to AOC? Wait, what about that weird fucking comedian shitbag dumb fuck that, like, tried to, like, heckle her and, you know, say she was a spicy tamale or whatever the fuck, you know? It's just like, or, you know, like, or all these weird fucking right-wing dorks that always, like, you know, like, tweet at her and shit or whatever the fuck. Like, I mean, what are you saying, my dude? What in the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? This dude needs to be pegged. Dude, he is just begging for some dominatrix to just get in there, all, like, leathered and, like, rubbered out. Fucking, you know, just get him all, like, you know, and just, like, fucking cuff him. Get the whips. Get, like, you know, the pegging, you know, gear. And we're talking not just, like, you know, being pegged with, like, you know, just some typical, like, you know, flippy-floppy thing, you know? We're talking, like, you know, you're going to Bad Dragon. You're not just getting the XL, like, flared chance dildo. You're getting, like, the triple XL. Like, you're going, like, you want, like, the fucking dildo bat, basically, of, like, you know, of dildos here. And, you know, and then she's just gonna fucking, like, get him, you know, just, like, you know, fucking, like, gimp him the fuck out, get him on, like, some breeding bench, and then just, like, well, I mean, beyond that, I mean, you know, it's just very, very unsavory, and he would basically, you know, You're a woman, you have no domination over me. Shut up, you little sassy bitch. Just whips him right in the cheek. Oh, I'm sorry, mistress. Just immediately begins to obey, just right off the bat. Oh my, you know he would. And you know what's, honestly, you want to know what's like being hoisted by our own petard here? He's deeply oppressing these fucking urges. We're just, like, honestly explaining, like, his secret fantasy. Like, you know, we're honestly hoisting ourselves by our own petard. Like, if there's, like, some secret, like, sex dungeon that this guy had and it got leaked out and everyone knew about it, like, this would pretty much be, like, what would be caught, you know, being done in there. Like, I mean, let's just be honest. Like, we're just describing what is going on, like, secretly on, like, you know, after he's doing his sermons and shit. God, these fucking weird sexually repressed freaks, man. It's just like, good lord. I mean, there's no real reason, you know, for this shit besides just, you know, being just like some sexist, power dominating freak, you know, because you have your own sexual insecurities. Because realistically, this guy, especially with how he talks, is just very submissive as fuck. Like, straight up. I mean, this is like, he might be straight, but even I think he would be fine if a dude was even fucking his ass and shit, because he'd be, you know, because he'd just be like, as long as you just look like a woman, and then, you know, I could just say, you're not a woman, no! And then that, like, dominatrix, like, I guess it would be like a cross-dressing, like, you know, femboy dominator, you know, being just like, shut up, bitch, you know, but instead of a pegging, it's just, you know, let's get raw dog now.
Afraid to stand up to Hillary Clinton. Men are too afraid to stand up to Nasty Pelosi. But I'm telling you, what?
Nasty Pelosi? That isn't really as much of a quippy nickname as you think it was, dude.
Stand up and say, get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich.
Why don't you go back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich, bro? Because you're sounding more like a fucking whiny woman than, like, any woman I've ever heard, bro. Like, I mean, at least with your definition of what one is. So, it's just like, it's like, bruh, you go make a sandwich, bitch. It's clever for people in the 3rd grade. Ah, well, yeah, true, fair enough.
Some pastors need to tell their wives to do that.
Wow.
What about the women that are just sitting there? Like, honestly, what about them? Like, there's literally, like, 3 of them right there. They're just silent. And they're just staring. It's just like, what about the... I wonder what they're fucking thinking. They're just like, that's right. I agree. Are they just like, amen? Like, hold on. Let's say... I actually just want to watch those 3.
Make me a sandwich. And you know what? Some pastors need to tell their wives to do that.
They're literally are just, like, stone-faced. Well, I mean, I can't tell if they are or not, but they're just, like, frozen, basically. If anything, one of them kind of looked off for a minute, you know, and then looked back. Like, I think probably, like, did he just fucking say that? And then just looked back like, what? They're concerned they may have made the wrong life choices. Maybe. Like, because honestly, like, they were just... Like, I'm hearing, like, these dudes laugh and shit. Like, this guy right there. And, like, these are, like, are the only 2 dudes that look like they aren't really moving or anything. Like, whoever's on the other side of the aisle and shit is, like, they're all having a time with it. This looks like they're all youth. So they're all just, like, contemplating and, you know, considering these choices. Like, yes, maybe we should decide if, you know, if we should have women leaders or if they should be in the kitchen. You know, like, they're pondering if it's a good idea or not. So hopefully they consider that maybe it's bad and they get the fuck out, but I doubt it. If they're this far in, probably not.
Camera panned and showed the audience chuckling at his stupidity there. It really disturbed me to see little boys in that crowd because this is being embedded in their heads at such a young age that I worry that they're going to grow up and espouse these same horrific, draconian, antiquated views.
I mean, this is the whole point about when it comes to religious indoctrination. I mean, this is also why they're so against public education and shit like this, is because fundamentally, you know, they never have cared about things like, you know, like the choice of the child and, like, you know, kids' freedom and shit like that. You know, and all that shit. And, you know, and all in all, it's just like when with that, you know, they fundamentally get to the point of like, oh, well, you know, it's just like, we can't have our children, you know, be exposed to this type of stuff. So you know, and we can't let them, you know, like, you know, be indoctrinated and shit like that. You know, it's like, they should be able to, you know, let, you know, be a child and shit. Which, in their mind, is basically be a child that's, you know, indoctrinated into their fucking, you know, weird foo-foo religious sky daddy beliefs, and that are heavily misogynistic, authoritarianistic, and fucking oppressive of not just their own identity and their own choices and shit, but of just the fucking society. And it's just like, huh? It's like, I mean, like, what? I mean, you want to, you know, cry about the kids, think of the children, and all this shit, but it's like, frankly, like, maybe y'all should stop thinking of the children. Maybe you should all, like, you know, quit thinking about them so fucking much. Because you literally, you know, make it a part of your fucking essential life essence, you know, to indoctrinate them and, you know, make as many of them as fucking possible. And, you know, essentially make it a part of their core life, you know, shit, to have, you know, children and, you know, have them be a core elements, you know, and shit. And not even really consider them, you know, just the fact that they are it. They should stay away from children. Yeah, no, really, frankly, they should. I mean, it's just like, those who always are crying about think of the children are probably the ones that you should worry about, you know, the most when it comes to children. Like, just straight up. Not because they're probably going to be, like, weird with them in a sense of, like, you know, PDF file shit or whatever, but just because they probably just have legitimate ulterior motives of how a child ought to be raised, instead of just, like, you know, letting a kid be a kid, you know, and as a parent guiding them and making sure that they're, you know, flowered and developed, you know, to their maximum potential. I mean, on top of that, obviously make sure that they're safe and, you know, making sure that, you know, they don't do anything that, you know, could hurt themselves or, you know, potentially put them at risk or anything like that. I mean, obviously, you know, you want to, you know, be safe and obviously, you know, think of your child, obviously. It's like, I mean, there is an element of thinking of children that's okay, but, you know, it should be a part of, like, you know, making sure that your child develops, you know, to be an, you know, an individual and being able to figure themselves out, you know, and being able to, you know, prosper and flower a little bit. I mean, basically dictating every little fucking thing in their life is not how you do that. Being a helicopter parent and being like some weird oppressionary fucking lord, you know, lording over every little decision choice they make, it's not exactly letting a child be a child. I might fucking spit on him. Straight up, I mean, I won't even give my fucking spit its dignity. I let my knuckles do the talking of that. I go, you know what, they want women to go in the sandwich, you know what, I go in the sandwich, I go in the kitchen myself, you know, I'll even go make that sandwich. I come out there and be like, hey, here's a presentation of a fucking knuckle sandwich, get the fuck out of here, hey, you know, it's just like, go fucking New York on them or something.
For more open-minded people, they do research and realize that all of these lies, all of this dumb fuckery that's being fed to them, that was fed to them at a young age when they're older, was all wrong. I mean, certainly I left the evangelical Christian cult when I was introduced to different opinions, so I hope that the same will be true for them. And, you know, one thing that also bothered me was the women in the audience that just nodded along. I mean, stand up for yourselves. He's telling you that you are meaningless. Your lives aren't as valuable as the lives of men. Your voice isn't as valuable as the lives of men. And your life, your mere existence, is simply to serve men. Get in the kitchen and make us a sandwich. That's what he literally said. And they're just sitting there nodding along. How can you support someone who... I
know. One of them, at least, look like they might have been like, huh? Like, kind of realizing, wait, did he actually say that? The one in the second row on the left, like, she kind of had a moment, I think. You couldn't see their faces, but just of her head motion of just, like, just doing that, it was just kind of like, it kind of felt like this, did he just say that moment? What if it's all just a massive fact that he can't do basic shit for himself? I mean, honestly, isn't that really the case in a lot of ways? Like, honestly, I mean, isn't it though? I mean, for real. Like, I mean, if you basically, you know, want to have a housewife, you know, to basically just do most of the shit for yourself, I mean, does that basically mean that you just don't know how to do any of that shit? I mean, that's essentially it, because you don't want to, like, for whatever reason it is, whether because you were just never taught how to, or because you think it's demeaning work, because that's more of a woman's job, or whatever, because basically with the same indoctrinatory bullshit, or for whatever fucking reason, or because you just personally hate doing it, it's like, you basically just rather pawn it off to your fucking spouse and shit. It's just like, and make them do all that shit. I mean, like, I mean, at least, I mean, it's just, like, so fucking, like, really, in my mind, super, super fucking sad. Because it's, like, especially when it comes to, like, laundry or, like, food. Especially food. Like, if you basically are, you know, especially something that's a sandwich, like, oh, make me a sandwich. It's like, you make one, bitch. It ain't that fucking hard, you sad sack of shit. Like, oh, let me just, like, you know, like, oh, yeah, let me just, like, you know, take 30, like, seconds out of my fucking day to just make you a sandwich and shit. It's like, you take 30 seconds out of your day to fucking make one, you dumb shit. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, seriously. I mean, at least for my job and shit, I have to do it, you know, but that's a different thing. But when it comes to this type of context, no, it's like, it's like, you make one. Like, aren't you just gonna go just randomly, you know, spontaneously just be like, it's like, yo, what's up? Can you make me a sandwich? You do it. You're closest to the kitchen, asshole. Do you get tired of sandwiches? I mean, I don't do I mean, they're not like a all the time thing. Like, some days, I mean, the sandwich bar doesn't even get busy at all. So, I mean, not really, but there are some times where it's just like, oh my fucking god, I wish that you would stop ordering sandwiches. Like, the last one I was doing, like, it was like this, I mean, it was pretty much, I don't know if it was like the mom or like an older sibling or what, but she had, like, you know, 4 younger kids with her. And it first started with 2, with her and one other kid. And then pretty much once I was done with those, like, one of the other ones was just like, oh, I decided I want a sandwich now. So then it was just like a third one. And then, you know, after I was done with that one, then it was another one. It was just like, oh, the last kid was like, oh, I decided I want one too. And it's like, oh my god. It's like, I mean, couldn't you all just decide this at once? I mean, like, you eat the person since working at a deli. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I eat them personally. I mean, I'll make them for lunch sometimes. I mean, there'll be every now and then, sometimes on streams after work, where I will have half of it left over, and I'll just, like, start chomping down on that shit. And honestly, I make some fucking fire sandwiches, not even gonna lie. See, like, if, you know, it's like if, you know, there's a hypothetical, oh my god, a hypothetical scenario where, you know, I had a wife or some shit, like, frankly, I'd be the one making sandwiches. Like, if anything, you know, it'd be the wife being like, can you make me a sandwich? You make them so good. Like, it'd be like that or some shit, dude. Like, I'd be the one making them. I already know. Like, honestly, not even if it was a wife, it literally whoever it is, I already know I'd be the one making them. Cause just based on, like, personal experience just from work and, you know, from coworkers or customers, or, you know, whether they're returning or otherwise and shit, it's just like, I got the curse of making them a little too good. It's just like, fuck. Too many, too much, too many fell out. Make it one and ship it to me. This is 3, 2, 1 rocks. I think by the time it got to you, it would not really be that good anymore. Unless I, like, freeze-dried it or something. Well, oh god, you know what, never mind, that sounds horrible. I don't even, like, how would that even, like, I don't even know, bro. Like, unless I, like, somehow, like, nitrogen froze that bitch. And then you just wait for it to thaw from the nitrogen. Sandwich making is the most basic adult skill. I mean, it should be. Really? I mean, honestly, it's like the most basic thing. Bread. You know, and if you decide you want some, mayo, mustard, ketchup, you know, if you want a sauce. If you want the other bread to have sauce that. Meat. On bread. Do you want lettuce? Lettuce. Do you want, like, any other condiments? Boom. Are you done with the sandwich? Yes. Boom. Consume. It's just like, it's so, it literally does not, depending on how complicated sandwich is, it shouldn't take no more than, like, a minute or two. Like, seriously. It's so pathetic, dude. This is why, like, I mean, when it comes to, like, go make me a sandwich, I just, like, look at the dude even with more spite and, you know, and shit, just not because of the misogyny, but because, like, you are so pathetic that you don't even know how to fucking cook anything. You don't even know how to, like, make, you know, a sandwich or make food for yourself. Like, you're fucking pathetic. It's like you would not survive in the outdoors, you know, it's like the rugged individualist that you claim to be, dumbass. So, like, I mean, oh my god, you would just, like, you'd die within days. However, it requires deep understanding of quantum physics. Well, unfortunately, I don't think any of us has that deep understanding.
Inferior to them. I don't get how every woman wouldn't just get up and leave, but I mean, this shows the power of brainwashing. It's just truly horrific. Now, you saw what he said about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Carrie Lake, but Marjorie would say, oh, well, this individual is just, he's fringe, and the MAGA movement, the Christian nationalist movement, doesn't agree with him. And that may be true for now. The problem is that if you follow Marjorie Taylor Greene's own political ideology to its logical conclusion, that's the trajectory that they're headed in.
Of course.
That's the inevitable conclusion. She supports...
Which, frankly, honestly, especially when it comes to fucking on moron Titan Green, it's just like, if she really believes the fucking Christo-fascism, you know, that she really does, it's just like, then, yeah, why don't you just, you know, step down, you know, as a politician and go, you know, be the proper acolyte and example of your fucking ideology and your philosophy, you Christo-fascist bitch. I don't think that's true now. I mean, it kind of is a little bit the logical conclusion of her ideology. I mean, it really is. I mean, if you're a Christo-nationalist or, like, Christo-fascist, that's essentially is, like, what you fundamentally believe. You think women should be second class and basically be, you know, the handmaidens for the husband and the incubators for the husband and shit, you know, while they're pretty much the dominating authoritative figure in everything in society. I mean, it I don't know. I mean, it just kind of seems like the genuine logical conclusion of these motherfuckers.
Lead to her demise. You can't be a leader in the Christian nationalist movement, Marjorie Greene, because the Bible says that women should be subservient to men. They are subordinate to men, and therefore you're not as valuable. Why would you support this? Why would you support this type of movement that thinks that you're a second-class citizen? I mean, we don't know why that's the case, but Marjorie Taylor Greene quite literally supports laws that make women second-class citizens, such as abortion bans. And it's just, it's crazy how people, marginalized people, gay conservatives, support this movement that doesn't like them. Now, Jonathan Shelley makes it seem as if women have already reached parity with men in government.
So much to the point, I think, like, the log-cabin Republicans and, like, a lot of the gay Republicans, in Texas pretty much have, like, openly admitted, like, yeah, we failed. We failed at trying to make Republicans in the GOP here at least somewhat accepting of gay people. It's like, you know, no, we failed. Like, I mean, if they're saying they've openly, like, failed on that front, then maybe, yeah, like, these fucking people are not exactly, you know, redemptful, you know, when it comes to a lot of their ideas and a lot of what they advocate for. Like, if they're, like, gay, like, compatriots can't even be accepted despite kowtowing to their shit every step of the fucking way, then, yeah, they never will.
Not true. In the U.S. Senate, women hold just 24 seats, 16 Democrats, 8 Republicans, out of 100 seats. And in the House of Representatives, they hold just 122 seats, 90 Democrats, 32 Republicans, meaning that they only comprise 28% of the House of Representatives. And
honestly, that's not, like, so this Christian fascist pastor guy is saying that, like, oh, like, a lot of, Republicans running now are, like, women. And it's just, like, there's, like, barely any of them on your side and shit. Like, 8, for the Senate and fucking, what was it, like, 20-something?
They hold just 122 seats, 90 Democrats, 32 Republicans.
32, yeah.
That they only comprise 28% of the House of Representatives.
It's not a lot.
And throughout our nation's history, there's been a total of 42 female senators and 335 female House members. So...
And that's also not a lot.
It is not the case that women are dominating politics. They haven't even reached parity. I mean, just because you have some female Republicans emerge as national leaders doesn't necessarily mean that women are dominating men and drowning out men. It just means that some women have higher visibility than Republicans. Perhaps
kind of like more on Titan Green, or maybe to a lesser extent, Laura Boebert too. I mean, it's like, honestly, especially considering that they tend to have, in some cases, even louder voices and tend to be a little bit more rabble-rousy with what they believe in, whether it's more on Titan Green or like AOC or, or whoever. I mean, it's just like, there's only really like, certain women and shit that really aren't really like that rabble-rousy or loud or boisterous and shit. Like, Elizabeth Warren isn't really that loud or boisterous. Fucking, like, outside of just like, I want to be president, like Hillary's pretty much like not that loud voices. Kamala is just like basically being shoved in a closet to just like hope she doesn't say something. Like, I mean, it's like there's not many of them that are like rabble-rousy or loud. But the ones that are, though, their names are very well known. I mean, hell, like Katie Porter is like, isn't she in Congress or like a state house or something like that? Like, I don't even think she's on, like, a national level, but she's, like, even somewhat known to a degree on national level. At least on the progressive side of things. So, it's just, like, I mean, all in all, it's just, like, there isn't really, like, at least in comparison to men, not that many women in government, but the ones, but for those that are, there's at least, a decent chunk of them that are pretty loud, but... At the same time, a decent chunk of them that are just pretty kind of quiet and, like, in the background, just kind of like the rest of them. And the rest of them, I mean, just like the rest of the politicians.
Has more of a platform, has more visibility because she's so vicious in representing Jonathan Shelley's fascist movement. But, even if it were the case that Congress was made up of 100% of women, I don't care. What I care about ultimately is the substance, right? I think that parity is important, and I would like to see the demographics in society reflected in government, but political scientists distinguish between two types of representation. There's descriptive representation, and there is substantive representation. So descriptive representation just means that if there are 50% of women in society, there should be 50% of women in governing bodies. But substantive representation means that you have a proportional amount of people representing a particular group that actually advocates for them. So when it comes to Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example, sure, she is descriptive representation for women, but she is not substantive representation for women because she doesn't actually advocate for most women. She actually advocates against policies that would bolster the freedom of women in this country. So that's a really important distinction to make. But Jonathan...
I mean, if anything, like, just to extrapolate that type of point further, it's just like, when it comes to substantive representation, I mean, at least when it comes to just the general plight of average people, women, minority groups, working class folk, abroad in general, etc., it's like, there really isn't hardly any substantive representation going on, period, let alone for just more basic things like women's rights and shit. It's, I mean, like, and frankly, there really needs to be more of the sense of substantive representation, because, like, like Mike says, like, I literally couldn't care less if, like, all of our government was all women, if it was, like, half women, half dudes, if it was, like, all trans people. Like, I mean, I literally couldn't give a fuck. I mean, I care about what they believe in and what their substance is, when it comes to, the avocation of, the general state of the country. So it's just like, I mean, I really couldn't care less who's, running shit. It's just like, what are they doing? It's just like, that's what I care about.
He cares more about symbolic descriptive representation than the substance. Even if he agrees with Marjorie Taylor Greene on 100% of the issues, well, he can't support her simply because of her identity. She's a woman. I mean, if you thought that identity politics was bad on the left, is this not like the ultimate form of identity politics gone wrong?
Yes. yes, it is. This is why I honestly find this, thing about identity politics, from the left, just kind of silly. It's like, yeah, there is like a lot of discussion and talks about like identity, amongst the left and shit, or at least amongst progressives abroad and shit, but like, I mean, when it comes to the actual, like, identity politics that get heavily pushed and funneled, it's always from these, like, weird religious fanatics. Because it's, like, at least when it comes to, on a general level, it's not like, these, there's, like, identity politics, peddlers, on the left as well, but it's just, like, it's mostly about, like, hey, it's, like, how, do you feel about your identity, and, like, how do you want to, be the most comfortable with that, and, how, do we advocate for, a system that best flourishes and prospers, one's identity and one's individuality. It's just like, and do that, across the board on a collective level. It's just like, I mean, that's pretty much about, on a general level, it's about really as far as it kind of goes. Making sure that there's rights, solidified and the access and guaranteed, with those things. So it's just like, it's not like, there are definitely id pull shit, on the left, because there definitely is, but I mean, especially with the influence in the U.S., like, so much of it comes from this religious fanatic far right, because they always want to push their id-pull indoctrinatory norms on everyone else. I mean, and that's legit, like, the most, like, rawest form of, like, this identity politics bullshit. And pretty much is always from the start, but this, like, even with the whole anti-SJW stuff, it's like a lot of that type of shit, fundamentally, it's like it started amongst, like this sense of just like, oh, well, I mean, just look at these crazy little W stuff, right? I mean, that's how it begun, but it always comes around a full circle where it's just like, oh, wait, we actually ended up becoming the ones that we, started to cry and bitch about. At least the ones who kind of kept going with this, whole charade of like, oh my god, look at these wokies and creepy baby. And, because they only took, the very rare few exceptionary cases of, like, some of these weird id-pulled people on the left and shit, and just, painted it as this whole fucking, scaremongery thing. And eventually it just became the same shit that, they were calling out. I mean, really, and at the end of the day, it kind of was. There's plenty of people that looked at it on a more constructive level and shit, but especially from that time, I mean, there was far more of just this, like, no, look at this feminist, just far more of that shit in comparison to people actually kind of deconstructing it and actually trying to make a point with it. Like, I mean, hell, there was even a point where fucking, like, dorks like Sargon actually were being somewhat deconstructive of the shit, but eventually he was like, nah, look at this woke communist. So it's just like, I mean, eventually they just come in full circle. I mean, the ones that recognize it and realize this shit, branch away from it. I mean, that's why there was the whole rift, amongst the anti-SJW crowd and, like, the atheist crowd and shit like that. Because, I mean, a lot of them, just realized, hey, maybe it's not all just, like, anti-SJW shit. Maybe there's, like, other things to look at, especially considering now that Trump's in power and all this shit. So, I mean, that's why all this shit happened. And now look who's the fucking SJWs and the fucking crybabies and all the fucking snowflakes. Now it's just basically all the people on the right.
What he said there may shock some of you, but if you follow Jonathan Shelley, then this is not surprising. This is an individual who is a monster, and we've talked about him before, but for those of you who are unfamiliar with his politics, let's get you caught up. So as Alex Bollinger of LGBTQ Nation writes, the Southern Poverty Law Center considers the Steadfast Baptist Church an anti-LGBTQ hate group. It's part of the New Independent Fundamental Baptist movement, which includes 7 Anderson's Faithful Word Baptist Church.
Shelley, is this just like another version of the Westboro Baptist or something? And this guy looks like he really wants to get pegged.
men are all pedophiles, and one
Like,
celebrated
he looks like he's holding his hand up like he's wanting to cup some balls or something, dude. Like, I mean...
the death of a 75-year-old gay man. Jim Fahey, a member of the Fort Lauderdale Gay
Okay,
Men's
wait, hold on.
celebrated the
I was
death
laughing and
Faithful Word Baptist Church.
I'm laughing at some horrible shit, hold on.
Shelley has declared that gay men are all pedophiles, and one celebrated the death of a 75-year-old gay man.
Well, this person probably, I mean, if we can have you just step maybe a few feet back behind that wall, and, you know, honestly, I'm trying to think, I'm actually trying to think about, explain the rest of this. We can have him just take a few steps back behind that wall. I'll grab a long, sticky thing, you know, like, that has, you know, some stuff, interior things that, you know, can poke a thing out and launch it to your face, and then yeah, you know, we'll you know, I think that'll be, you know, the best outcome and solution, you know, for you, honestly, all in all, you know. But yeah, it's probably the most vaguest way of describing, you know, what I'm trying to describe.
The Fort Lauderdale Gay Men's Chorus was killed when a driver accidentally drove into the Wilton Manors Pride Parade. Quote, and you know, it's great when trucks accidentally go through those, you know, parades, Pastor Shelley said about the tragedy. I think only one person died, so hopefully we can hope for more in the future.
Can we hope that a truck finds you at, like, okay.
Well,
I didn't realize how sinister this was getting. Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, okay, this guy, I mean, if I had, you know, just, I would literally, like, I mean, honestly, I'd sacrifice my bong and smash it up against his face, frankly. Like, I mean, it'd be worth the money. Besides, it's an LGBT bong. Not only is he getting hit with the power of, the satanic herb, but he's also getting hit with the pedophilic powers of the queer movement or whatever the fuck. So, like, I mean, he's getting a double whammy of that one, and plus getting glass in the eye or something like that. I mean, it honestly, like, it'd be a worthy sacrifice. I'd probably slowly but surely kind of cry later down the line about it, but, you know, it would be, I think even it would understand that it'd be an honor.
But the Bible says that they're worthy of death, he continued. They say, are you sad when AFSLers die? No, I think it's great. I hope they all die. I would love if every AFSLer would die right now. And you say, well...
This is why I got a gun.
I don't think that's what you really mean. That's exactly what I mean. I'm just
gonna be blunt. This is honestly a part of the reason why I have a gun. I'm just gonna be blunt. This is why I have a gun, because of fucks like this. Just saying. Because as soon as they start, you know, doing their little vigilante death squads, that's when I get loaded.
Of steadfast Baptist churches.
Like, I don't like, this is the reason why I get serious about these type of people and shit, and why I just don't really give a fuck about mocking them or really, you know, having to, you know, like, borderline, you know, say certain things about what is better ought to do with them. Because these type of fucking people literally just want to see people like me just dead and hope and literally celebrate that. So it's just like, no, it's a nah. Like, I get, you know, the reason why there needs to be, like, some strong, you know, gun regulatory measures, and it must be, but, like, I mean, until then, I'm loading the fuck up. Because motherfuckers like this, you know, being in this fucking country and on my fucking planet, like, they ain't gonna fucking fly with me.
Right, folks?
As long as they walk around on this fucking planet, I ain't gonna be fucking, you know, feeling safe, you know, necessarily, because these people are literally, you know, would be looking at me with blood in their eyes.
This again, because I think it's important.
I mean, these people are, like, you know, borderline animalistic savages. What in the fuck? Hold on. Oh, man, I want to read that. Oh, my God. What? You got invited for free food. What fucking motherfucker walks in with a goddamn AR-15 and no one gives a fuck, dude? What the fuck? Dude. Yo. Get the fuck out of Alabama, bro. Oh my God, oh, holy fucking shit. See what I mean? Holy fuck. Oh my god, even I'm terrified. Jesus. Ugh.
You view this individual as an outlier. Currently, that is true. For now.
For now, yeah. That's the caveat, buddy. I was about to be like, really? Really,
Follow
Mike?
Marjorie Greene and Carrie Lake's movement to its logical conclusion. That right there is the trajectory.
Hey, you're forgetting DeSantis.
I think that it's redundant to say that, but I think it's worth emphasizing that point. If you are in a community that is currently marginalized, vulnerable, lacks political representation, and you support these Christo-fascists, if you pledge to be part of the Christian nationalist movement, that's what you ultimately have to look forward to if your worldview comes to fruition, if everything you say you want to be passed into law actually gets passed.
And frankly, they're okay with that, and they want it. And there is about, 10 million evangelical Christians in this country alone. So that's already 10 million right there. So, yeah. I mean, frankly, they're not the only ones. Plenty more. Not all of them are necessarily evangelical Christians, but they're also okay with a lot of the ideology because, in their mind, it's all like, well, go along to get along. As long as you leave me alone, I'll do what you want. That's basically it. So it's just like, there is at least, probably give or take, maybe about 15, 20 mil of these motherfuckers just roaming around. And a decent chunk of them live out here too. And a lot of them have the same fucking ideas. Reason why, honestly, it just really, at this point, at least when it comes to the rifle, yeah, at this point, this is, for the shotgun, that's for other shit, but for the rifle, this is probably the reason why now. Outside of just having fun with it and plinking it around. Frankly, the next firearm purchase will definitely be a handgun of some sort. Most likely a revolver. Just because I like revolvers, they're pretty fun. Definitely going to get a double action, not a single action, just because, I can at least pull the trigger and then it'll just shoot instead of having to cock the fucking hammer every time. But then I can just do, then I could kind of go cowboy style with it if I wanted to. So, I don't know, I don't know. Did you know you can make milk from melon seeds? Yeah, you can do that with almonds and other things. Yeah. You can technically make milk out of a lot of different things. I'll just give this a like, because I just love how there's just so many of these fucking psychos that exist. Frankly, there should be at least some minor element of I don't know, it might sound a little odd, but there should be some sense of kind of patriotic vigor when it comes to this fight back against this shit. At least when it comes to progressive left and shit, because these because honestly, I was kind of saying it a little bit there, but almost, but it's having these motherfuckers walking around in my country. And honestly, it's I really want to just stick with that instead of just saying my plan. But it's just because honestly, yeah, at least right now, this is my country. This is, I live in the U.S. and shit. Yeah. And yeah, I fucking hate it. But, when thinking about a lot of the different, aspects of rebellion, angst, counterculturalism, that is such in, the degeneracy and, the progressivism and all this other shit, it is honestly such a core fucking root, of what this country was made of and, and built from. And it just basically never, ever gets brought to the surface at all. And it's only really up until recently where that's starting to slowly but surely kind of get brought to the surface. And if anything, honestly, there should be just kind of a sense of highlighting these things, about, U.S., because it's what's built up, to what, we're advocating for today as leftists, right? When it comes to workers' rights, queer rights, trans rights, women's rights, all these different things, were historically built up and fought for, and, with blood, sweat, and tears, pretty much for a fat chunk of America's history. Maybe not all of it, but for most of its, lifetime. especially when it came to things like workers' rights, which kind of go in tandem with a lot of these other things. The genocide is this country's background. Exactly. I mean, there should be at least, like, some sense, not, like, because, like, oh, you know, this country is great, but in the sense of, like, this is what we can make it. We can actually make this more of, like, you know, and flourish this and make it, you know, what it really could be. Because it's been, like, painting and fucking yearning for it for so fucking long, because it's been fighting for it for so fucking long. And it's like we haven't come this far just to start regressing back, you know? It's just like, you know what I mean? So it's like there should be kind of a sense of like this kind of like pride, you know? Because, I mean, yeah, I mean, there is a lot of aspects about, you know, especially me as a leftist that, you know, I fight for today that have been fought for well over 100 fucking years. I mean, even way before America's foundation. That's why I say, you know, the planet too, because this is not just, you know, a part of America's history, but it's part of, like, humanity's history. I mean, fundamentally, it does go beyond it. I mean, it's just like, because I definitely don't want to see, you know, this country go to shit like it does, and I don't want to see it, you know, continue to be shit like it has, and continue to fester this garbage that it always has been, whether it was, you know, some of the systemic racial shit, you know, from its Jim Crow chattel slavery past, or, you know, with the police, you know, tied with that shit historically in this country, or the military-industrial complex, whatever it is. Like, I mean, all this shit that's just festered and, like, you know, kept down what, you know, America really ought to be, instead of what it just festered and, you know, been poisoned and been just controlled to be. Because a few white aristocratic fucks decide to, you know, dictate how it ought to be set up. I mean, it's just like, I mean, in my mind, that seems like a lot more of a patriotic, you know, mindset in comparison to just being like, you know, whatever these weird far-right chuckle fucks ever could think. Global climate crisis. So wait, a little meme. I thought it was like a little news thing. I was like, oh boy, more shit, and I was like, oh wait, it's a meme. Okay, a little something to lighten the mood now.
Alright guys, people are dying right now. There's like toxins in the air, pollution, people are choking. We need y'all help right now.
Oh my god.
Hey, what was with that shooter?
And the monkey.
What y'all talking about? Hey, I just said people are dying right now.
Like there's red particles falling from the sky?
Yes.
And like people are just like falling over?
Exactly. Right.
Oh, wow, that's early.
Yeah, it is pretty early.
I thought it happened like 45 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
45. What are y'all talking about? My family's dying right now. Come on, please.
He said it. That's why he cares.
They only care about it.
You didn't read the article in 1999 where it said if we don't stop doing it to the climate, people are gonna die?
I mean, no,
I gotta print it out right here. Read it now. Read it now. What about here from 2005? What about here from 2015? And then we wrote a whole book. We wasted our time in 2022. What the fuck? None of that, huh? Yeah, it's too late now. You know when you can help? You know when you can help? In 1999 when I wrote the article. Too big. No, ozone layer has been depleted. Sorry, guys. The ice caps are gone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no more animals. No. Oceans are gone.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys fucked up this time.
You know the sky is red.
Oh, actually, no lie.
Okay. We made these masks.
We now we're fighting wars, we made these masks for us and our family, but y'all didn't fund them, so we did it with our own money. We'll take that. So give it to us in about 10 minutes and we'll start making them. But too bad y'all didn't be dead in like 4 seconds.
4 seconds?
Yeah, because the toxins are coming through the...
Okay, give us the mask. Give us the mask. Come on.
Hey, those walls that y'all making at the last second, those were good, man. Good shit.
Good shit. Dude, you know what? Hold on. You know what? Like, what if, like, you know, we're actually gonna get, like, trolled by the scientists, dude? Like, honestly, what if this is what actually happens? Like, you know, like the rich billionaires and all that shit, like, they're like, oh, yes, we'll just have our climate-sealed bunkers, yes. But realistically, honestly, like, the toxins are so toxic that it actually, like, you know, like, literally, like, denigrates and degenerate, like, slowly disintegrates their fucking, like, filter generators outside and shit, and thus, like, they just go into their climate-sealed environment anyway, and thus literally just fumigate their shit with toxic fumes and just collapse and just into death in their little like tombs. And then all the scientists, because they're all like, you know, seeing this like literally decades ahead of time, we're like, you know what, we'll just put a little side funding for stuff that we can all survive with, and then you just have like a society of scientists, you know, that are survive. Dude, what, you know what, this is how humanity has a second chance. The scientists just throw a curveball at us. They have, you know, technology that they're hiding away for just for themselves and their family and their folks in their communities, and just being like, yeah, you know, boom, yeah, we'll just rebuild humanity. Cabin fever. Yeah, there's also cabin fever too. Like, they're gonna all eventually want to go outside, especially when you got like little rich prissy bitch Betsy that wants to go out and go hang out with her friends, but she's over in the other fucking bunker and I can't even go over there. What the fuck? Open up the goddamn door so I can hang out with Betsy and have margaritas, you bitch. Like, I mean, you're gonna have that eventually within a week. So it's just like, nah, like, I mean, the rich fucks, you know, honestly, that's the silver lining about the rich elite, you know? Like, they think they can escape, you know, this whole climate catastrophe. Nope. They're gonna be fucked like the rest of us too, bitch. They're gonna be fucked eventually. That's why I honestly got people like Bezos trying to go to space. And even then they're fucked, because how are they gonna be able to continue to feed themselves? You know, like, eventually, like, with the hydroponics or whatever the fuck they might be able to have up there, something's gonna go wrong. So, you know, so even then, they're fucked. They ain't gonna survive forever.
Hell yeah, watch that again. Hey, there's nobody at the movies. Yeah, I know, everyone right over my head.
Oh my god, you know what? I gotta give these guys a subscribe. These guys are actually pretty funny. Yeah, I'll watch another one here. How interviews go when you try to... How interviews try to get you to slip up. Ooh.
Being at the top of your fields, I have to ask, you know, like, what's your take on the whole pronoun situation that's going on right now?
You said the whole pronoun situation?
Yes, sir.
I mean, movies got a lot of takes, you know what I'm saying? Songs got a lot of takes, and that's how you make them.
Right. I guess more specifically, I'm asking about, you know, the whole gender role thing.
I mean, gender roles gonna do what gender roles do.
You know what? I'm more specifically talking about, like, how many genders do you think there should be, like, realistically, ballpark estimation?
You said ballpark?
Yeah.
I mean, you play baseball at a ballpark. You know?
Oh my god, dude, you know what? Oh, holy fuck, I should totally, like, you know, dude, oh my god, if I'm ever asked these questions, or, like, asked a question about, like, or, okay, I'm stealing these a little bit.
This is an interesting topic, you know, like, say I said I was a woman, should I be able to play in the NBA just because I say I'm a woman all of a sudden?
I mean, really, it's like what Drake said, you know what I'm saying? All this capital is like I left the caps lock on.
Right.
Jodeci freestyle.
Right now.
So you agree with what Drake has to say?
I mean, I don't listen to Drake no more.
Oh, okay. Well, what's your take on the police brutality thing? Like, do you think America's going in the right direction?
Direction?
Yeah.
To the left, to the left.
To the left.
To the left. Irreplaceable. His song by Beyonce.
Hit, man. We still listen to that. We listen to that on the way over here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So do you agree with what Beyonce has to say about this?
I mean, to be honest, Beyonce is one of the, you know, top 5 singers. But I don't watch her movies.
Well, you know, what would you guys think if your dad just came out and said, I'm attracted to other males? Like, what would you guys think about that? You know, I'm gonna take that silence as an answer. You know, we got him, guys. All right, thank you guys for watching. Get him out of that podcast. Make sure to tune in every week. Be ready for that shit.
You gotta be ready for that shit. Damn. Okay, yeah, these guys are, yeah, they're fucking pretty funny. They're honestly a pretty good fucking little comedic trio. I'll definitely have to watch more of their shit, honestly. That sounds a little like... I honestly seen Lena Hope go live and fuck forever. She doesn't go by... She doesn't even really go by, like, Lady Hopium anymore, technically, does she? I'm not sure if you personally have counted this, but... But as someone who works in the service industry, what's worse when a customer freaks out when you don't have what they want, or when you tell them you don't have it, and you see a sad defeated look in their eyes, like looking forward to it was the only thing that got them through the day, and now they can't have it. Honestly, probably just like looking sad and defeated, because, you know, there's honestly a lot of people that, you know, aren't gonna explode really. But a lot of people are just like, oh, okay, that's kind of fine, you know, and it's like, thanks for checking, you know, just kind of stuff like that. But every now and then, there'll just be somebody who would just be really sad, you know, it's just like, man, it's like, I'm sorry, man. It's like, I mean, I can try to substitute something else for you if you like, and they're usually like, no. And it's like, oh. It's like, I really do feel bad, you know, honestly, because it's like, I wish I did. It's like, and honestly, it's usually I tell them, it's like, hey, next time, you know, you come in here, I'll hook you up, you know, for a little something extra, you know. It's like, alright, well, I mean, it doesn't help me now, but thanks anyway. You know, they just kind of leave usually. I'm just like, oh well, I mean, at least I tried. I mean, I guess there's at least the whole, hey, I did at least try effort, you know, thing, but beyond that, it's just like, oh. Whoa, what in the... A coil gun? Are these becoming more of a thing now? But what let me for my cousin, my dog got ran over and I found out I'm diabetic, and I can get that BLT. Sorry, we're out of bacon. Honestly, I know in my store there's other places to where I can go find bacon that's pre-cooked. So... even though I might not have bacon out of, I actually would probably think up, you know, in my head, you know, it's like, hey, wait here for a second. I know where I could probably find some more if you want. Just wait a little bit, you know. And because I've had times like that where I'd be like, oh shit, I'm out of the thing, and then last second I'm like, wait a minute, I could probably find this, you know, in the store on the shelf somewhere. And I'll just let them know, it's like, hey, if you want to wait just for a little bit, you know, I think I know where I can find this on a shelf. If you want to just, you know, give me a minute, I can go find it. And usually they're like, okay. Yeah, usually they'll just, that's how they usually are, for the most part. Every now and then you'll get somebody who's like, nah, that's fine, you know, or whatever, be like, ugh, you know, or just whatever. But most part, usually either people are like, okay, that's alright, you know, you can go get it, or they'll just be like, don't worry about it, you know, that type of thing. It's pretty rare for someone to just be kind of like, ugh, what the hell, bro? You don't have it? I don't want to wait any longer, dude. Fine. Ugh. It's just like, okay, jeez. But luckily that's pretty rare. Didn't get that one customer. Are you sure you're out? Shows losing his coat pocket. Honestly, some motherfucker did that to me. Like, I would be like, let me double check one more time, and then I would just, like, you know, bump a coworker, be like, make sure manager calls the fucking cops, and, you know, and I would just be like, don't explain it, the dude back there showed a gun, fucking just do it, you know, and just, like, just murmur that to him, and go double check, you know, whatever, and take a lot of time to double check and make sure that, you know, coworker's taking the immediate, like, I would not fuck with that, no. Like, if that happened, I would not be fucking with that. Whatever you do, don't look at it. Well, I would just say, just go to the manager, don't fucking, like, look or do nothing. Yeah, like, honestly, you know, I don't even, like, I mean, honestly, that's never happened. The closest that's ever happened was, like, years ago, and it wasn't even at my department. It was, like, and also wasn't even a store-related thing at all. Because, and I know a story, like, basically the rundown was, some dude eventually got released, you know, after being, you know, done with whatever time that he was doing and shit. and some people from that he wasn't very friendly with and didn't exactly like him knew this and were waiting for him. And once he got released and got all of his shit, which is all in this little envelope, he basically realized he was being followed and essentially ran all the way to the fucking store and ran inside, getting chased by these dudes, which were armed. And because the Girl Scouts at the time were doing their cookies and shit right outside the door, initially people immediately thought that this guy jacked their envelope full of money. And some people, some customers randomly started following him through the store. And he was just like, quietly being like, no, I didn't do anything. I didn't steal nothing, blah, blah, blah. Trying to explain to these customers starting to follow him a little bit. And while he's trying to like run to the farthest corner of the store, if these customers are like, what's going on? And then the manager comes over being like, what the hell's going on? And he's like, hey, I just got released and I'm being followed by these dudes who got guns trying to, follow me and shit. And they were all wearing like red hoodies or some shit. And they also had a fucking red truck, so they're easily identifiable dumbasses. But a few of them had like, some pocket knives or whatever. But I noticed one of them in his pocket a little bit, in his hoodie, had a little gun. I could kind of see the handle poking out a little bit while he was looking around for the student. I'm just like, and I'm kind of sitting there like, am I about to see shit go down? But then I hear another voice from the door being like, come on, bro, whatever. Then the dude just runs off. And then I'm just like, I'm sitting here and we weren't really that busy out of the I'm like, I gotta see what the fuck going on here. And I just kind of like poke around and peek my head out. And I just see all of them hustling in their fucking truck and just dipping. And it's just like, and I'm sitting here like, what in the fuck? And I'm just kind of trying to look at what their license plate was. And at this point, I totally forget. But at least I didn't remember the letters, but at the time I remember the numbers, and someone got the letters, but didn't quite get the numbers, so we, put them back, tied our info together, and I just kind of waited outside as a cop rolled up, like, literally 30 seconds after this dude just drove off, and they were just like, alright, well, we'll get another guy here real quick to assess the situation, we'll find this dude, but we'll have to wait, for the other guy, to come by, and you said the, plate was this, and blah, blah, red, whatever, red truck, and impeccable, yeah, so basically, and not even like 30 seconds after he was documenting this info really quick, his buddy came by, another cop came over to, see what the hell was going on with the other guy, and then they realized, oh, he was the guy that we just released, so he, there's nothing wrong with him, just evidently had some unwanted friends, basically, so... he was, obviously let go and shit, because, again, I guess. But, essentially, from what I understood, they caught the other people just, like, a couple blocks down anyway. Like, they didn't really get that far. Because, I mean, yeah, when you're fucking, like, chasing around a dude, it's, looking to fuck him up, especially when you're armed, like, yeah, you're probably gonna get charged with some shit. Especially when you're, like, barely having it drawn, where, some people can kind of tell that you're holding something, like a gun. It's like, yeah, you're kind of a dipshit. It's like, if someone's, like, if, like, the dude you're trying to chase is going in, like, a public area, like a store, like, that's where you stop. That's where you wait for the motherfucker to get out of the store. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ. Or just leave at that point, because, like, well, no way to get him now. Too many people, too many eyes, like, but... Of course, they were all, like, younger than, like, 21, so I guarantee you there's a bunch of fucking 2-bit fucking kids that, honestly, were just, like, probably, doing, like, drug peddling shit, most likely. And the dude probably did some snitching and shit, but still had to do time himself and fucked over some friends or whatever the fuck. And they wanted some payback or some shit. But that was years ago. Honestly, like, that type of shit doesn't really happen anymore. It's more or less just, like, an encounter with someone who's either really heavily methed out or just some people stealing shit at this point. So, luckily nothing like that. Here, see what type of other little things are on tube. Not really too much. You don't understand, I just got out of prison. Oh my god, he's an escaped convict. Quick, take him down. Well, luckily, I mean, he was just in his street clothes by, you know, when he was released. Like, I mean, that's why they usually let you transition in your street clothes before they give you back the rest of your items, which is usually like in an envelope or some shit. So, when you're released out of prison or jail, it's obvious that you're just, you know, been released as, you know, a regular person. Instead of, like, escaped. And honestly, I mean, when's the last time we've honestly heard of like a straight up like escaped convict type of situation? Like prisons and jails are pretty like hella locked in fucking tight. Like it'd have to be like, you know, some prison riot or jail riot shit in order for that to even probably come close, and even then, you know, I really kind of doubt that would be the case. Unfortunately, the man had an affinity for orange jumpsuit. Oh my god, that's how he got caught, was in like some orange just casual jumpsuit. I mean, you actually can find at like thrift stores and stuff like old like old ass like prison jumpsuits and shit like that. So in a way, like honestly, you could technically walk around with one. I mean, I'm sure a lot of cops would be wondering like, huh? Like, wait, is this guy an escaped convict? What's going on here? Like, I'm pretty sure you'll get, like, more or less stopped by a lot of cops. I think they'll eventually just kind of realize, like, yeah, there's just a dude with a random prison jumpsuit, I guess. He's fine. He's just wearing it for some reason. Like, I think at some point the news will get around and they'll just kind of stop annoying you, but honestly, I kind of doubt that. They're cops, they're pretty much like obligated to annoy the fuck out of you or fuck your life over or end it. Of the tons. Dude, when you mentioned your like AR-15 thing in that little text you sent me, we were watching like the Human Support, looking at this fucking Christo-fascist dude who literally doesn't even want to like see Marjorie Taylor Greene as like a leader of his movement or whatever. And I was also kind of mentioning like, this guy, why have a firearm myself, buddy? And then you mentioned that like shortly afterwards, and I'm like, well, now I feel even more vindicated, because like, what in the unironic go fuck? Honestly, a little bit, I'm actually strangely relieved you returned, because I was just like, yeah, a dude walking in with an AR-15 on his back, that doesn't tell me, like, you know, like, I'm safe. That tells me, like, there's a lot of people who are very likely about to get shot up right now. Like, and I'm like a pro-gun dude, but it's like, if I see someone publicly, like, with a fucking rifle, just, like, walking in somewhere, like, my immediate thought is, people are about to get shot up. Like, straight up. That would be my first fucking thought. At a Burger King? A fucking Burger King! Oh my god! Oh my god! Dude, you gotta get out of there, dude. You gotta get out of that fucking place, dude. Jesus Christ. No one bad at dude, I would've been like, what are you doing? I mean, I probably would not have said shit, but I just would've been like, what the fuck? Like, now I want to actually, like, get out of here, because I don't want to feel like I'm about to be a victim of, like, you know, like on a news report, on like, you know, some national news and shit. No, thank you. I legit thought about, like, dude, like I said, if honestly, if someone was like had like a little pistol strapped, I probably would be like, why? But I probably wouldn't immediately think everyone's about to get shot up. Like, but a full-on fucking like rifle though, like, I mean, you walk into a place like that, like, the only reason why you'd be doing that is either to show how much of an insecure little fucking bitch you are, or you're about to shoot the place up. Like, one of the two. Luckily, he was just an insecure little fucking bitch. But, I mean, goddamn, it's a toy cost of motherfuckers like that. Open carry pistols don't worry about. Yeah, they don't, like, open carry pistols don't bother me as much. Like, it's still like, okay, bro. So, I mean, it's like, what are you trying to show? I mean, I'm still kind of questioning it a little bit, but it's like, it doesn't really concern me that much. Because that's, even up here, that tends to be more common. Not like open carry, but concealed carry and shit like that. I mean, there's a lot of people that do that up here, so... I mean, honestly, I'm, like, when it comes to pistols, I'm not really concerned about that. You can't necessarily, like, justify just walking around with a rifle like, yeah, this is my defense weapon. It's like, yeah, maybe for home. So, but, like, and even then, like, that's a little overkill. Ugh, weed, please. You God give a pistol. Well, fortunately, ain't a pistol down there, boy. You be mistaken. Think you're mistaking somebody else with that one there, brother. Got myself a goddamn long rifle, boy. Oh, a borderline optimistic article headline. The Great Barrier Reef bursts back to life. But climate change still poses a threat. Australia's Great Barrier Reef is bursting back to life in remarkable fashion after being damaged by warming waters. Huh. I know there honestly has been a lot of restoration efforts at the reefs, so I'm wondering if that also plays a role to it. Like, you know, trying to restore a lot of these damaged, bleached reefs and shit with, you know, putting some more artificial and newer reefs, and it's kind of helping kind of foster a lot of the other biodiversity, which is helping the other natural coral reefs in the area, thus kind of making it flourish up more. I mean, all in all, that's good, but I mean, it's like, yeah, you know, climate change is still probably gonna fuck up. I mean, it shows that at least, hey, I mean, it's not like all dying, but also I think like a little under half of it's already been like killed off anyway. So we got kind of a long way to go to restoring that to its totality. Watching the Weather Channel, and according to them, you are due for some rain. Yay! Rain. Sweet. There, you know what? I'm gonna go look at my own weather, just so I can confirm that. Weather. You already, yeah, there we go. Come on, baby. See that next 10 day. Oh god, Sunday's gonna be 101, ew. Yay, Tuesday, scattered showers. And then just, you got my hopes up, dude. Like, what the hell? Scattered showers for a Tuesday. Yay. And it's still gonna be, like, kind of hot, like at 88. Boo. At least it's like mid 80s for the most part for the next like 10 days. It's gonna be 86 on the 15th. Ugh. What does that mean? What does that mean for my birthday? Oh god. Cause I want to like go out and do some shit, but I most certainly do not want to like scorch myself. In thunderstorms. Thunderstorms, huh? At least in my area, there's nothing about thunderstorms. Or even a little mention of it. So probably not in my area. Which honestly, I'm kind of okay with. What's this? There's a little community poll I just found. Which of the following do you believe Mark Zuck is? Human, lizard, robot? He's a lizard. And most people agree. 21% people say he's a robot. 61% say he's a lizard. Who are the 18% of freaks that think he's a human? Like, I question their humanity. Are they a lizard? I bet the 18% of people that, you know, click human on there are also lizards. They're trying to, like, you know, make the robots look, you know, somewhat equatable. But honestly, it just kind of shoots himself in the foot because it just makes the lizards look supreme. First commented his body language is that of a reptile. His speech feels robotic, and he appears mostly human. So maybe he's a lizard-human hybrid cyborg? Damn. Can you think of any LGBT horror movies? So far, the only one I've seen is Freddy's Revenge. Honestly, I can't really think of any. Yeah, not that I'm aware of. Honestly, yeah. I can think of one feminist horror movie, Alien. Yeah. I mean, especially with, Ellen Ripley. Because, I mean, she's definitely a very strong feminist archetype character. Seen that already. Well, yeah. But that's obviously not well, I mean, it's not an LGBT movie, but it's definitely, like, you know, a feminist movie, obviously. But, I'm trying to think of, like, you know, at least for horror movie-wise, and I really can't think of any. I mean, I'm sure there's others out there, but they're probably more like indie films and shit like that, so they're probably also kind of cheesy, too, all things considered. Because I'm trying to maybe... I saw TJ tweet saying Collins would be up in arms if Alien was made today. Yeah, they would. Because Get Out is a good what the fuck movie. I still actually kind of want to see that. LGBTQ horror movies. Oh, well, here's a whole list of them. Oh, Zukov got himself in the laundry room again. 33 of them. So, where are they? Oh, here we go. Dracula's Daughter. Ooh, it's a 1936 one. Wow. Dracula's Daughter extends the Universal horror myth. Here, let me pull the screen up. The Universal horror myth, in an interesting direction, but the talking script and mild atmospheres undermine its ambition. Synopsis: although Count Dracula is destroyed by Van Helsing, who is now be tried for his murder, Dracula's... Well, god damn it. Well, fuck. Okay. Here, let me just go back, because that failed. Okay, anyway, here. The Haunting, 1963. Both psychological and supernatural. It's a character study. Interesting psychic phenomena. Takes two specially selected women to Hill House. Huh. Something. Night Warning. I like that poster. That's a pretty cool poster. 1981. Dude, the 80s honestly had a pretty awesome era for posters. The Hunger. What is even going on with this? Whoa. Stylish yet hollow, The Hunger is well-cast vampire thriller that mistakes erotic moments for a satisfying story. The Thing's my favorite movie for all-time horror, not just a fantastic movie. Yeah, it really is. Oh, this is a David Bowie movie? David Bowie's in here? Oh yeah, you can see him. Yeah, he's in that. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, he's on that. He's the head on the left. is the lover of a gorgeous immortal vampire, Miriam. He's been led to believe. The Haunting of Hamilton High. There's not even a poster for it. Doing prank gone wrong. Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp 2. Unhappy Campers. Oh my god. This looks like some cheese, dude, and I love it. Angela Baker is psychotic transsexual. Oh boy. Escapes from a mental hospital and surfaces as summer camp as probably one of the kids. Ooh. Interesting. Hellraiser. Hell yeah, dude. Hellraiser. You know what? Honestly, yeah. That doesn't really sound pro-train. It really doesn't, honestly, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, huh? Why is it? I mean, that's just a synopsis, and also that's given 88 as well. But I don't know. I mean, maybe the film itself actually is good. Maybe it actually kind of. I don't know. I mean, maybe the movie itself isn't bad. I mean, considering it's at 50%. Maybe it's just saying essentials because it's just, like, not necessarily maybe, trying to say that, like, every movie's pro-LGBTQ, but, like, it's a part of history of its movement because you have, like, films like this that, in a sense, highlight it, but show how, much, the struggle had to kind of come, to, kind of fight against, kind of this more bigoted mindset towards, queer folk and trans folk, at least when it comes to a film like this. So, you wake up, see this outside your window, what do you do? Well, fuck. Hold on, we haven't even gone for all the films yet. But you know what, here, hold on. Since I know we're still probably going to be a minute. I'm taking my gun, I'm taking my rifle, I'm getting one of my 40-round magazines, and I'm mag dumping that. So, like, mag dump. Oh, fuck. Oh. Well, shit. Hold on. I need to find my, thing again. I have too many tabs, and I don't want to accidentally, fault myself. Oh, wait, what? Oh, well, fuck you too, Chrome. Alright, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh my god. I want to go back to that list. Because I actually kind of want to go for this list a little bit. I want to see. I dated a girl named Carrie, and she hated the movie Carrie, Lamau. Because everyone made Carrie jokes. Alright, here we go. Come on. Bring it back. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Now, let's go back to where we were on the list. Okay, we were here. Alright, now I found it. Boop. Sweet. Okay, cool. The Rage Carry 2. And honestly, considering it has 24%, I'm assuming that this isn't exactly a good film. Disposable as its predecessors, indispensable Rage Carry 2 mimics the arc of Stephen King's classic story without adding anything of value. Ginger Snaps? Oh. Really? Strong female cast and inspiring satire of teenage life makes Ginger Snaps far more memorable than your average werewolf movie or teen flick. Oh, really? It's a werewolf movie too, huh? I like werewolves. You think essential would mean, good movies? Yeah, well, it looks like we're starting to get to some good movies here a little bit. Because I haven't seen any of these. I haven't seen this one. Or this one. I've seen Ginger Snaps. It's actually not a bad werewolf flick. How do werewolves look? Because, like I said, werewolves are awesome. I like them. And what's May about? Above average slasher flick. Young Fist May endured a difficult childhood because of her lazy eye, although contact lenses have helped. Something. Okay. Chucky, the seed of Chucky. You ever seen Wolf Soldiers? I have not. See Chucky credit for embracing increasing absurdity of the franchise, and even the end results aren't real, that funny or entertaining. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's Chucky. I don't know. That might be fun. The Covenant, and it's at 4%. Oh my god. Plays out like a teen soap opera, full of pretty faces, wooden acting, laughable dialogue, and little suspense. In the 17th century, 5 families with supernatural powers make a pact of silence. Eventually, one power-hungry family is banished, or some, okay, whatever. Let the right one in, and let the wrong one out. I hate Chucky. Oh, I love Chucky. That movie gave me nightmares as a child. Well, yeah, as a child. I mean, I watched it when I wasn't a child, so I end up loving the shit out of it, but that's just me. When Oscar, a sensitive bully 12-year-old boy living with his mother in suburban Sweden, meets his new neighbor. Oh, a foreign film. It's a great vampire movie. Oh. Yeah, I haven't seen this or heard of it, but ooh. I mean, considering it's at 98%, this looks like a really good fucking movie, honestly. I'll have to check this out. Auto, Up, or Up with Dead People. Huh? Writer, director, Bruce LaBruce. Bruce LaBruce, what a name. Practice strengths, but proves frustrating and less with some of his parts. A gay zombie manages to be cast in a horror wait, what? Okay, you know what? I think I might weirdly like this if I was high as fuck. Jennifer's Body. Features occasionally clever dialogue, but it's a horror comedy premise. Ultimately fails to be consistently funny or scary enough to satisfy. When Demon takes possession of her high school hottie Jennifer Megan Fox. Well, okay. That probably explains why, you know, it's meant to be just kind of like, you know, a cash grab thing here. Turns a hungry on guys who never, you know, something, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All cheerleaders died, 2013. Sense of her tropes, but yeah, false victim to me with the same trashy cliches it's trying to mock. Yeah, we got two cops in there. I kind of want to get him out of there. Hey, bud. You just kind of hanging out in there, huh? What a silly little goofball, man. Jennifer's Body is a good lesbian movie. I love this is that comment though. Jennifer's Body is a good lesbian movie. Such emphasis on lesbian. It's about a girl who gets possessed by a succubus and must kill to survive. Her best friend has to put her down. Damn. Stranger by the Lake. Six smart and darkly humorous, Stranger by the Lake's rewarding reviewing for adult film goers in search of thought-provoking drama. Lyle. Wow, this is straight up at 100%. Latest grief over toddler's death turns into paranoia when she begins to suspect her neighbors are a part of probably some plot. Ooh. Raw, 2016. Lurid violence and sexuality lives up style, but they are anchored in fermentive atmosphere and deep symbolism and linger long after provocative visuals fade. Now it seems like we're getting into some good films here. Blew my mind, but blue. My spot is changing. Huh. It's space nowhere is transferring, your body's changed radically, inspired desperate attempts to solve problem. Huh. Just, I mean, if I click more, it's gonna probably go into this main page, but yeah, be all weird. But I'm assuming this could either be like, you know, a movie about puberty or a movie about transgenderism, or a little bit of both. Either way, I know puberty's involved, obviously. So, oh, seems like an interesting little flick. I don't know if it'd be my thing though, but Rift. Whoa. Dude, this fucking poster, though, dude. Whoa, is this like... Is this, oh, is this Icelandic? Or something? I could just tell because of the, lettering. Sixth Thor, Orskason. Yeah, this is Icelandic. This is an Icelandic movie. Oh, yeah, that's like the... Yeah, this is Iceland. Yeah, dude, this is an Iceland film. Two men haunted by the dead relationship. Oh, I gotta find this. I gotta check this out. Cool. Oh, yeah, that's like the Icelandic coast on one end, and then you got, like, the mountains over in the background. I think that, the mountains in the background are actually taken outside of Reykjavik, if I, remember. I actually think I've seen those. I think I've been on this road. Thelma. Plays the genre trope in unexpected ways, delivering a thoughtfully twisted... you know what? I'm actually really gonna think... I'm definitely gonna look at Rift. Thelma plays the genre tropes of unexpected ways, delivering thought supernatural thrill. Fling right back. College student who studies extreme sieges while studying at university in Oslo, Norway. So it's always that. Something. What keeps you alive? 2018. Smart, stylish, well acted. What keeps you alive? Proves still possible to spin an engrossing horror yarn without fundamentally altering established formula. Not the right one. Has an American version called Let Me In. That's the same movie but with American actors. Huh. The Wild Boys. Well, this definitely looks like a very queer film. In the beginning of the 20th century, 5 children on the island of La Réunion committed a savage crime. Huh. The presses to breath ambitions and the skill of which are often triumphantly realized. Huh. I might have to check that movie out too. Good Manners. Adroitly juggles disparate tonal shifts while taking a uniquely smart and sensitive look at female relationships. Huh. Prince Sinclair. Huh. I can definitely tell, you know, like, not all these films, you know, seem to be, like, kind of be something I'd be into. Like, this probably won't be something I'd totally be into, but I could probably like it, you know, still. Subpersia. What's this about? Young American dancer Susie Brannion arrives nice times Berlin auditions. Huh. Definitely not for everyone. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes because Ches send Davo films about watching them. Yeah. I mean, that's true. Challenging, rewarding, and equal measure climax captures writer-director Gasparino working near a cynical, brilliant, and visual distinctive peak. When members of the dance crew are lured to school, drug lacing in the sangria cause their jubilant rehearsal and descent. Huh. Knife plus heart. Paris space filmmaker. Third Kate Rate Burn. Huh. Knife and Heart. Might have to check that one out. Bit. Transgender teenage girl fights to survive after falls into 4 queer feminist vampires. What? Okay, I gotta check that out. That sounds pretty dope. The Perfection. A children's musical prodigy and a new star people embark down a sinister path. Something. Freaky. This is a new one. Looks like we're probably getting near the bottom of it here. I feel like there's probably a couple more. It's a slasher with a gender-bending, body-swapping twist. Ooh. I'm down for some shit like this. 17-year-old Millie Kessler spends her days trying to survive high school under cool actions in the public crowd, but something. Titan, thoroughly proactive, and original, and Titanium reference factor, mentally high resistant to heat and corrosion with high tensile strength alloys on it. Okay. Seems interesting. Fear Street, Part 3, 1666. The colonial towns in 1666, a colonial town is gripped by a witch hunt that has deadly consequences for centuries to come. Ooh, I'm down for that. Hey, and that's the list, dude. That honestly, you know what? Like, I'm down for at least definitely half of these movies, for sure. It seems like some of the first couple were like, are these meant to be like essential like horror films? Like, I mean, because one of them just like had the synopsis like psychotic transsexual escapes mental facility. It's like, what? It's like, wait, huh? But you know, all in all, I mean, it actually, you know, it's like most of these films seem pretty interesting. I don't think all of them are necessarily, you know, something I'd probably be totally into, but like these two look like I'd be into them. That one for sure. This one I'd probably be into. Oh my god, sneezy. Honestly, can't rep it. Let the right one in enough. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out for sure. Saprizia, I mean, I could be into this maybe. Probably not into that one. Could be into that one, you know. So it's just like, all in all, I definitely want to check the, you know, like I definitely want to check that out. And where was it? And this, I want to check out Rift, because I mean this one looks like it'd be really interesting. Because for me especially, it'd be really cool to kind of like spot different little you know what? Yeah, let's see if I can find maybe a scene or two on YouTube. Oops. Ah, god damn it. Oh, whatever. Months after they broke up, Ghana received a strange phone call from his ex-boyfriend, Ina. Huh. Ooh, there's a trailer for it. You know what? Trailer time! Trailer! You ever get the feeling when you wake up in the middle of the night? There's something with you in the dark.
Hvað ertu að gera þetta? Hvað er ég að gera þetta? Hvað ert þú að gera? Það var
There's
eitthvað sem gerðist
something
þetta
that's happening, yeah.
sem ég langaði til að muna.
Don't want to remember. People sometimes see things out here in the dark.
Þú hringdir í mig í gær.
Who come and says, is someone else with you?
Hvað er þessum sem þú komst? Hvað helst það væri fyrir annar? Slökktu ljósið.
Ooh, you know, I'm already kind of hooked a little bit. Like, I'm wondering if it's like legitimately some supernatural, or like, you know, maybe somebody's like watching them. Like, you know, actually kind of like peeping in on what they're doing with their lives, and, you know, seeing their, you know, like relationship and their intimacy, and being like, you know, whether like, honestly, I'm actually already really intrigued. I'm already kind of like, you know, wondering, you know, a little bit. Oh, well, it's a dude. Oh shit. Oh shit, dude. Oh, dude. Okay, I'm actually kind of in. Alright, I'm a little hooked. I'm a little bit hooked on that. I'm a little bit hooked. Alright, I might. Wait, how much is its rent? I might rent it. Ooh! Ooh! Looks like it has a sail. Ooh. Ooh la. My dude, based. I might rent it. $10, I don't know, but I mean, for that, for that little price for the rent, yeah, why not? Babe on in there. Please don't peep on me. I don't want no peepers. Like, I won't take kindly to peepers, as you know. So, nobody knows, you know. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Way off in the deepers. Where bitches be going peepers? Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those eyes? I don't fucking know. I got it from you, okay? I got it from you. That aside, I hate Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers! Yeah, his kind of like a little. It just kind of sounds like very like kid-like, honestly. So, but I'm a little childish, so it's just like every now and then. Oh, you know what? Oh, I just realized that's also a movie too. You just said that and made me realize. Oh yeah, there's also the movie. It's responsible for many of my nightmares. Yeah, I think I've seen some clips of it before. I haven't seen the full movie. Ugh. It's about a demon that steals body parts for itself. Ugh. Amazing. Nice. I love it. Once it decides it likes a part of you, it just takes it. It's like, I like this part of you, I'm just gonna take that now. So if it just happens to just like your booty, it'll just take your booty and nothing else. If it happens to like your dick, your dick's gone. If it happens to like your head, well, I guess your head ain't no more. So, I suppose in a way, if it likes if it likes your fingers, then your fingers are gone. But hey, at least you're not like dead, I guess. Depending on what body part you got going for yourself, I mean, it could either be a silver lining or it could be a curse beyond belief. Because silver lining could either be like you at least survive with not that much gone from you, or or you're just dead. And then there's the curse of like you're either dying a horrible death because they're bleeding out and shit, or he takes a part of you to where it's just like you're pretty much totally incapacitated, and you just have to like live as like a borderline vegetable or something. It's like, damn. I mean, that demon sounds like kind of an asshole. It's like, yeah, gonna take this body part of yours because I like it. It's like, what if other people like it? Fucking prick. Like, you can't have it all to yourself, jerk. It's like, no, only I can have it. That's like a very selfish piece of shit. That's a bad movie that you like. It's fine with me. I mean, fuck, it's kind of hard because I am kind of a sucker for these type of movies. probably what's the one I'm thinking on top of my head? Probably fuck. I mean, honestly, I mean, we were talking about good movies earlier. Now I'm trying to think of a lot of shit that I kind of like. Oh, I mean, there is also Yeti 2. That's honestly not just like a bad movie. That's just like a schlocky as fuck bad movie. Well, it's actually, I think, called Gay Yeti. Well, there's first Gay Yeti, and then there's Gay Yeti 2. And honestly, Gay Yeti 2 is just even more absurd and ridiculous than the first one, and it's just so great. Like, the cheese is just like perfect cheese, because honestly, at the same time, like, you know, despite that, everyone's having a fun time with the movie. So I mean, that's what I love about like bad movies, and the ones that especially I do like, is that you can kind of tell that everyone's actually enjoying themselves and have fun with it nonetheless. And that's honestly, in a lot of ways, is what can make a bad movie pretty good. It's because, I mean, you know, at that point there's at least, you know, like kind of a vibe to the movie where it's like, hey, at least there's, you know, all fun going on, at least. Despite it being kind of a shitty, schlocky movie. I also like Swamp Ape, because Swamp Ape is a... oh my god, dude, that movie is just... that one is just, like, beyond weird. I guarantee you there's, like, an extended cut in that movie somewhere, where it goes a little further than, what's implied on YouTube. Like, I mean, that Swamp Ape, dude, that thing, like, I guarantee you there's an extended cut somewhere. And it gets worse. I mean, oh my god, dude. Because that fucking movie, dude, Swamp Ape literally just shot like a fucking porn, bro. Like, it just straight up did. It honestly, I think it was. I think there was, like, some stuff that might have been, like, kind of cut that is extended, like, that's on, like, you know, a site somewhere on, like, you know, some old mid, you know, 2000s or, like, mid 2010s, like, porn site that hasn't been kept up since, you know, it's, like, just there, just lingering. Like, I guarantee you it's just some random shit like that, bro. It's just hiding off. But, like, the public domain version, you know, on YouTube that can at least be somewhat watched, you know, to the borderline degree, you know, well, that's on YouTube. So. You see porno parodies better production value? No, for real, same here. Honestly, I mean, well, honestly, like, these days, if you just have, like, basically the equivalent of, like, you know, the 1990s era of, like, porn production status going on, or, like, early mid-2000s fucking, like, you know, video camera status, you know, of, like, amateur porn shit going on, you really don't got an excuse. You don't. You just don't. Like, the tech today with, like, you can get, like, a decent little budget camera that's actually really decent quality for, like, you know, for not that much. Like, I mean, like, it's, I mean, even your fucking phone, bro, but it's like, some people, man, they're still recording off of, like, this 240p shit. It's like, even for, like, a light, it's like, goddamn, like, even my little lamp light's actually pretty bright. I mean, the light doesn't really travel too far, because it's just, like, a little personal lamp light, but, I mean, just get, like, a decent little, nice, bright LED light, you know, for the room or something. It's like, come on, people. Like, it doesn't take that much to have, like, some rudimentary production. Like, anyone can do it now. It's like, come on. But, nope. Some people, they're still rocking that shit. It's just like, bruh, why? Mighty Muffin Power Rangers is something you shouldn't look up. Mighty Muffin, no, I don't. No. There's some things I've seen before, but that is something I just refuse to add to the list of things I've seen. Because I've seen some shit when it comes to the Rule 34 elements of the internet. just there's just some things out there that even I just think should be probably just like hidden away in a lockbox somewhere. Like, there's just some shit out there online where I'm just like, even I, you know, become like Deus Vult, you know, let's raid Jerusalem, fucking, you know, Christian mentality with shit. It's just like, I mean, I don't even, like, I ain't even gonna describe it, but we all just kind of like that, like just my Power Rangers. I'm just like, Deus Vult, man. It's just like, I'm immediately about to like fucking, just like, you know, do the Crusades on the motherfucker. Teenage Mutant Puss Slayers is another parody. Oh my god. That, honestly, that one just sounds like it would be hilarious to look at. I mean, that one actually sounds like it would be funny to watch. Like, I'd probably honestly laugh my ass off on that one, dude. Like, I probably would look it up just to laugh, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Oh my god, dude, I honestly, like, on my off time, just out of curiosity's sake, I might just, you know, for a laugh, I might look it up. Honestly. Just to laugh, because that just sounds funny. I can just imagine them just being, like, in these shells and shit, and they, you know, just trying to, like, fuck these bitches, dude. Just, like, with their shells and everything, and like, oh, the whole nine, bro. Like, oh my god, like, do they take the shells off? Like, what, you know, I honestly kind of want to see what happens. I kind of want to have like an analytical breakdown of what's going on, you know what I mean? Batman and Cat Pussy. I mean, that one honestly could probably be understandable. Like, Batman, his whole like leather, you know, outfit and get up, you know, Catwoman, or I guess in this case Cat Pussy, pretty much probably likely latex or some shit. I honestly can understand why, you know, people might be into that. I mean, it's not my thing, but I mean, the Catwoman, I mean, I don't know. I can see myself tapping that. Batman, not really. Honestly, it's not even really that much of a good superhero anyway. It's kind of a shitbag. That's what you think the parody would be about, but there's no turtles pounding ass. There's no turtles? Oh man, now you kind of ruined it. Now I'm not gonna look it up. I kind of wanted to. See, like, I mean, these days if I were to look up like some TMNT Rule 34, it would actually be the turtles and shit. And I guarantee you, at this point, there's probably like some real life version of that now too. Because furries, you know, that alone, like, I guarantee you there's some furries that figured it out and made it work, okay? You know, so, I mean, there's just some shit, man. I mean, at this point, anything's possible. But, man, it's like Teenage Mutant Puss Slayers, but there's not even turtles involved. Or at least, like, the Teenage Mutant Turtles. Like, you know, or it's just like, come on, if you're gonna try to like make the whole premise like, you know, parody of it, then you should lame. Boo. Lame. What a horrible poor director. I don't know who would have directed that, but they suck. They obviously don't have a creative vision. Stroke Man has Gash Bang Misty. Dude, some of the fucking porn titles, bro. Dude, there's just some porn titles out there that just, it makes me question reality. I mean, it's sometimes like, it might not even be the porns themselves. It's just the title. It's like the titles of them. It's like, are they trying to make someone laugh? It's like, am I trying to have like a little giggle before I bust my nut or something? It's just like, well, come on. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, honestly, like, amateurs kind of got it right a little bit. Because, honestly, like, when it comes to amateur producers, they're basically just like, hey, it's me, dildo, fucking pussy, or something like that. And it's just like, the title is very, like, pretty much like it's what the video is. But then you get like these random like hyper-produced titles that are just like Stroke Man has Pussycat Banger Pussy Slasher 3 or some shit. It's just like, huh? It's like, what is this? Is this also an action movie at the same time? What's going on here? Here, put up a little tune real quick. Be right back. Gotta go to the bathroom. SpongeBob SquarePants is hilarious parody. Oh my god. I've heard of it. And it's something I definitely don't need to see. Oops. It's definitely something I've heard before, but like I said, definitely not something I'm wanting to see. Anyway, I'll be right back. Hey, Zoops. You a sweet little bit. Look at Zero. Look at Zero. What's up, Zero?
You want your bone, don't you? You want your little rope bone? Come on.
Man, you suck. Fine. Jerk. You will laugh your butt off, I promise. Maybe don't show us so. Copyright and all. It wasn't. What the fuck?
Stroke him on.
Wait a minute. This is actually... Hold on. This actually is a parody of it? Wait, no way. That Pikachu looks genuinely terrifying. Oh my god. Presentsamon. Presentsamon, dude! Oh my god. Bruh. Okay, even I think this is fucking disturbing. Holy shit, this is like, dude, a little too far. This is a little too much, dude. They could have just... Man, they needed to, like, consult furries, man. They need to honestly legit consult furries. Because, like, if they want to get, like, even, like, weird, like, you know, get some realism going on and shit. It failed. Dude, no, I couldn't.
It looks like it could cause more damage than an episode of Dr. Oz.
Squirtle.
What?
Allow us to stroke and juice ourselves.
I didn't think you were ever going to show up.
Come on, stroke people time.
SBC.
Oh my god, dude. I can't. I can't with this, man. Okay, this is getting too much, bro. Dude, they're like, this is.
Really good.
Just shut up and whip out your strokey balls. Don't be a bunch of pussies.
You ready to ruin these guys like they're Brian Williams' career, Pikachu?
Pikachu.
She said she's gonna show them who's the boss, like she was the yellow Tony Danza.
I'm so glad I have the screen down for that one. Oh my god, what did I just witness? I'm not even finishing this. I'm not even gonna finish that. I feel like I actually need to bleach my eyes or something. Like, my eyes need cleaning. They need soap. Did I ruin your childhood? No. You just disturbed me with, like, a freaky looking, like, I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. I was just kind of more disturbed than anything else in this surreal porno. I don't even know why. Why? I feel like that's honestly just, like, enough internet, you know what I mean? The internet has accomplished many things, but this is something that it needed to not accomplish. You know, yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit, like, oh my god. Wow. Be back later. Well, yeah. I was actually meaning to kind of finish up like a couple more errands, y'all. There was actually like one or two things I kind of forgot to snag for a little camping trip / hiking trip tomorrow too. Just found out the campground doesn't open until 4, so that means basically we have to yeah, at least kill some time in between then. Also, I've been kind of seeing my homeboy. Let me get some updates here. Let me see here. An Android. Hold on. Even Zukov's like, what? Let's doing one thing real quick. Boom. There we go. Cool. But aye. Also, definitely a little excited for camp trip because I know it will be Zukov's first time. Also to the beach because he hasn't been to the beach before. I think it'll be his third time hiking and first time camping and first time at the beach. So he's gonna have a fun little weekend. Sweet little boy. My little Zukov. Zukov. Sweet boy. He's like, I refuse to acknowledge you right now. Oh, I need to also make sure I get some of my utensils and stuff gathered up. And also, basically, we'll go back to, honestly. I'm gonna kind of, look around for one. Oh my god, my friend thinks drinks like alcohol. But anyway, good finish up my little bit of errands. And all that fun shit. So, anyway, peace out. And of course, I shall be back around later tonight.